Hey everyone, today I'm going to start a video series where I'll be working on one real type of real project, and I'll be automating certificate management flow from the scratch, where I'll see we'll work on all the components for from the ITSM. We will use all kind of scripting, all kind of notifications, reporting, and everything. Hope you will find this video helpful. Thank you. So this is the requirement. Uh, just consider there is a organization, large organization. They are having so many applications, and those applications are having multiple certificates. They are having thousands of certificates, and those certificates have an expiry date. Um, what is expected is application team would track those certificate and renew the certificate on time, but most of the time they miss to renew the certificate on time, and that causing the downtime and the issues. So uh, with that said, we have a requirement that whole complete this certificate management process that we have to automate it through the ServiceNow. So what we have from the start, we would have one table which would store the certificate details, serial number, certificate name, who is the owner, and the expiry date. And based on that details, there would be a trigger point where if the certificate would be expiring in next 90 days, or if certificate is expiring within 90 days, then one assessment task would be automatically triggered and assigned to the application team who is the owner of that certificate. Okay. Now application team has to go and close that task and decide whether they are going to renew the certificate or they are going to revoke the certificate. If they decide that they are going to renew the certificate, then for the certificate renewal, uh, they have to procure the certificate first. And for the procurement, ServiceNow would automatically trigger a task and assign to the concerned team or the application team who is responsible to procure that particular certificate. And once application team will provide the new certificate details in that task and close the task, it means that new certificate has been procured, but it is not been used yet. Once they will close the task, the change request would automatically created and assigned to the concerned team. And there will be a two task. One would be to renew the certificate. It means use the certificate, place the certificate in the particular application repository first, that is renew the certificate, and second task could be to validate that after the renewal if everything is working fine or no, that we normally used to have in all the change request, right? This is the first flow for the renewal. If application team would decide not to renew the certificate, it means that they are going to revoke the certificate, right? If they decide not to renew, then one approval would trigger, and approval will be required from the application owner on the director in that for that application. And once we have that approval, one revocation task would automatically create. A revocation task means they would have some uh, every organization have some process where they would raise the change request to they would do some basic stuff to revoke the certificate. And once that process would complete, this task would be closed. This flow, say certificate revocation would complete. Okay. So this is the overall requirement. Our job is to work on this. we'll have to develop this from the scratch, and we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. We will now see exactly what are we going to build. Okay, in this tutorial we'll see the final product, not the final product, almost the final product. 95% of the things is done. Okay, let's see what we have done. So we are going to create an application. uh, Application name would be certificate renewal. Other than inside that we would have a different module, and this one would be the table which would store all the certificate information. Okay, this is the certificate repository. We'll see, let's see what are the fields I have created for this. We have a serial number, CN name, certificate name, expiry date, uh, uh, details of the certificate, who is the owner of this certificate, uh, what is the group DL for the owner application, where should I assign this certificate, who is responsible to renew the certificate, if they will not renew the certificate, where the escalation email should trigger. All those information we will be able to provide. Let's open one of the certificate and see what is going on. This particular certificate I have created just now, and I have filled all the information. If you could see, this is in discovered state. We will also see how we got this particular bar, when what is the condition that when this will trigger here, this will pending assessment to work in progress and completed. Everything we would see how we could do that. In this page you can see this particular date. This is more than 90 days from today. That is why this assessment task has not been triggered. We will see what will happen if I'll change the date to within 90 days from today. Okay, we'll see what will be the change. Okay, so we are here. This certificate is in discovered phase. Let me change the date and make it closer, I mean within 90 days. So this particular date would be within 90 days from today. And um, and if I'll save it now, I'm expecting that this if it is within 90 days, this task should be, this should move here. I don't see any change. Let me refresh it one more time. Okay, this has changed to the pending assessment, and I would expect some task. This if you see, the state also changed to pending, and if you see there is a task generated within the task certificate assessment, and this task is assigned to the application team. Once you get inside this task, they have to decide whether they are going to renew the certificate or no. Suppose I'm selecting okay, they are not going to renew the certificate. They will have to give some justification, because this will go for some approval, next level of approval. uh, this is the reason no need to renew. Okay, so they don't need to renew the certificate. They will provide the justification, and after that they have to close it, close complete, and save. What we are expecting is, if this is close if assessment is complete with the decision that they are going to renew or not, if they are going to not renew, and if assessment is complete, then this should trigger some, if you see the parent record, right? Let me open the parent record. This should trigger some approval, right? Let me see if we have approval. Okay, we already have approval. Okay, Let me approve this. If this is approve, okay, we will see what is that error. If it is approved, then uh, what uh, what should be the next step? If this is approved, then a revocation task should be automatically created, right? So if we see this revocation task is automatically created. Once we open this task, we will provide the revocation details, request details, and if you see who has to revoke the certificate, the application team and ARIA has to revoke the certificate, and state is close, right? Once they will say state is closed, this number would be mandatory because you have to provide that what request you have raised to revoke this particular certificate, right? So if I'll save this, close complete, if you see this is close complete, right? Directly close complete. And we will see in the parent record, where is our parent record? Let us open the parent record. I think our task is done. This particular certificate number is completed. There is nothing left in here to do. Okay, let me refresh it. This is close complete already. And second flow would be, we will see the second flow once in the task assessment they would decide to renew the certificate, how the change request and everything procurement task would be created. We will see that in the next uh, couple of minutes. Let me create the new certificate. I'll show you how what will be the flow if user is decided to renew the certificate. I have already filled out all these details in the next tab. This is the certificate we are going to create, and the expiry date is somewhere in the March. So if I'll save this, I don't see anything should happen. Uh, Let me change the date so this flow could trigger. Change the date to 8th of November. Hope this is within 90 days. And if I'll save it now, no change. Let me save it one more time. Okay, this task assessment is triggered. If we see the task assessment here, this is the task assessment. We have to decide whether we have to renew the certificate or no. Yes, in this case we want to renew the certificate. Yes, please do renew. And I want to just close the task. If you are maintaining some you are using Jira, you can mention what Jira story do you want to create, any Jira story for renewing the certificate. Likewise you can select it, and if you save it, it means that you have decided that you are going to renew the certificate, right? If I'll save it now, then what will happen? I'm expecting that some procurement task would trigger. This is the main certificate, right? If you see, this is work in progress. This just changed to work in progress, and I don't see the procurement certificate here. Let me save it or refresh it. If I'll refresh it, then cert procurement task is already created and assigned to the application owner. Let me open it. Okay, this task has been created. If you see that this is close complete, in that case you have to enter the certificate name. Mostly when you renew the certificate name will not change, and you have to decide what, if you have raised some request to procure this certificate, you have to provide the request number here. uh, you can Here you can provide the renewed certificate details. Suppose uh, this expiry date for this certificate is in 2026. We'll see next. Expiry is somewhere 2026. Let's fill out the new serial number. New certificate will have new serial number. I think in this field, if you see, okay, I have 32 digit is the character limit. That is good. I thought I forgot to put that. Okay, this is the new certificate, and task is closed provided the new certificate details, expiry date and everything. Let me close it. All right, I have closed this certificate procurement thing. If certificate is procured, then what we would expect that certificate is procured, now it has to be renewed. Somebody has to take this details certificate and place it in the application repository wherever it is required, right? So let me see, let me open the parent record and let me see what is going on. It's still in progress. That is fine. If you see, the change request is automatically created here. This is the change request, and if you see the description, this change is to renew this particular certificate and expiring on this particular date. Obviously the current certificate is expiring on this particular date, so we have to renew the certificate. For that, this change request is created. All right, and we know the flow of the change request, right? I'll quickly go over without taking much time on this. As we know what will happen in the change request, it will go for the request for approval. This all details will be auto populated, request for approval, and then somebody has to approve this, right? Okay, somebody has to approve this. Okay, somebody has approved, and then let me refresh the page. After the approval, it will again um, after the approval, it will go to the implementation phase. If you see, in the implementation phase, we have to implement that particular task, whatever is created. If we'll see the task, two tasks is created, one for the implementation and one for the validation, right? Once we know the flow, right? Change request flow. Once this task would be closed, this change request will be closed. This is the flow we have. Okay, let me quickly close this certificate, this task. Okay, I want to get over it. This is the output I'm describing. We will see that how to build this from the scratch, each and everything that you can see. Okay, all right, no issues, all good. All right, now this task is closed. Let me refresh, and this is in the review phase, and this task is closed, suppose. All right, sorry, this task is closed. Let me go to the parent one, and if you see, right, in the parent, this certificate is totally done. And if you see, this certificate is done with this change request. Change request is closed. For this certificate only, we had this procurement task, and for this certificate only, we have this assessment task. I think this is the overall thing that we are going to develop, everything that you see from the scratch, and I'll be back with new videos. Thank you. One thing I want to add, for in this flow, right? Once we create the project, we would have a requirement to uh, create a notification. We would see how to create the notification to the application owner that they have to renew this certificate to the team who has to renew the certificate, to the person, the point of contact who will renew and validate the certificate. Next, we will see the escalation email. If some certificate application team has decided to renew the certificate, but they have not renewed and 7 days left for expiry, there would be some escalation email would trigger uh, to their higher management. We would see that, and again we will see, we would have a dashboard where you could see that in next 30 days, 90 days, these are the certificate expiry. These are we are going to renew, these are we are not going to renew for this particular reason, and everything we'll see. And also, from that, whichever we decided that we are going to renew, we will see that these many we have renewed and this many we have pending. This is the that is why we are building this application, right? So higher management would have 100% visibility on the certificate status for their organization. On one click they would be knowing every possible details. Okay. And everything would be automated. There would be nothing manual. Nobody has to write the email. Nobody has to write even escalation email. Okay. We will see each and everything from the scratch once we start building it. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll see.